Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Normieville.
Well, we call you normies.
Before we get started, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and the notification bell. I appreciate your support and your participation. Deion Sanders, as most of you already know, he has chosen the new head coaching position at Colorado University, the Boulders. He is leaving Jackson State very soon. He has a game that he is going to finish participating in, the Celebration Bowl, I believe, on December the 17th. But in any case, Deion Sanders, because he has chosen to leave the HBCU, the SWAC conference, and go to Colorado University, he has been called many things, mainly a sellout for leaving the HBCU, for leaving a black college, taking more money in a higher position, a more prestigious position at Colorado University. Me personally, I do not think Deion Sanders is a sellout for many reasons, but I want to read this article I found from USA Today Sports that explains a little bit of my sentiment of how I feel about Coach Prime being labeled a sellout here. So let's go here to the USA Today Sports article, and it says, no, Deion Sanders isn't a sellout after leaving Jackson State for Colorado. This is an opinion piece from Mike Freeman. It says, while challenges in the black community are formidable, I don't expect Deion Sanders to repair them. You know why? Because he's a football coach. Now, simply put, yes, he's a football coach. He doesn't claim to be a scholar. He's not the president of the United States. He's not a congressman. He's not an activist. He's a coach. And to be honest with you, what he did in Jackson State actually helped the black community, if you will. He did a lot for that college, and this article will explain a little bit of it, so just follow me, if you will. It's been fascinating to watch. It's been fascinating to watch the reaction to Deion Sanders taking the Colorado coaching job. To some, Sanders is turning his back on Jackson State, the SWAC, and black people, ending a performative stint in which he never intended to stay long anyway. To others, he is a hero who will take the Buffaloes to new heights and make them a force in a Power 5 conference. Now, Deion Sanders never committed to stay at Jackson State permanently. For most coaches, they start small and they work their way up, all the way up to maybe the NFL, if that's what they choose to do. At the very least, they will go to a very prominent college, like maybe the SEC or maybe the Pac-12, something like that, a very prominent, very prestigious, or I'll say well-known college. This was a stepping stone for Coach Prime, okay? This is his first coaching gig ever in his entire life. Mind you, he played football. He's been out of the league for decades now, okay? And so he tried his hand at coaching, and he did better than anybody would have expected, honestly. And it's going to explain more of that in this article, okay? This is the truth about Sanders. He isn't a traitor to black people, absolutely. He isn't necessarily a savior for Colorado either. He is quite simply what every other big-time college coach is, a capitalist. And while he might not bring the same winning record or whatever to Colorado, he has a lot of potential by what he did in Jackson State. And that's what Colorado needs, because as I showed you in my last video, Colorado State has a very bad record right now. And they have a string of coaches that were not able to do the job, just point blank. And so Coach Prime, with his record and his history and his pedigree in Jackson State, Colorado is hoping that he will be able to take that same formula into Colorado. Let's read some more. It is absurd, borderline antebellum, to expect Sanders to stay at Jackson State because he's black and the school is an HBCU. HBCUs are the intellectual and moral pulse of the black community and have been for over a century. They are cherished. But Sanders himself shouldn't feel in debt to Jackson State. He's not a sellout for leaving. No, he's not. HBCUs are mainly known for education, quality education. Okay? Coach Prime brought popularity to the sports aspect of the HBCU. But make no mistake, okay? HBCUs are not known for sports. They're known for activism. They're known for intelligence. They're known for their scholarly, whatever. programs. They're not known for football. Okay? You guys were fortunate to get Coach Prime. You're fortunate that he was able to bring the popularity and the spotlight on the SWAC conference. All right? And he's left more than he brought. All right? If you even know a little bit about Sanders, you know what he was never going to stay long. He was always going to outgrow the SWAC because, quite frankly, he's one of the best pure coaching talents in all of college football. Not perfect, not always polished, but he was destined for a larger stage than the SWAC could provide. Absolutely, we're talking about Deion freaking Sanders. Did you think he was going to stay in the SWAC? I mean, just be... And to the people that are criticizing him, okay? Did any of you donate to the SWAC? Have any of you donated to HBCUs? Did any of you even go to an HBCU for you to be criticizing this man for his efforts and what his contribution to the HBCU and to the SWAC? Huh? Good question if you ask me, okay? Now, let's read a little bit more. Sorry for the flutter here. This page just keeps refreshing itself. My apologies. Here it says, if the belief is that Sanders should have stayed to help fix some of the ills plaguing the city, well, it's a noble thought. But he can't repair the shattered water system in Jackson or single-handedly fix the decades-long systematic racism that plagues Mississippi. Is he supposed to put Brett Favre in handcuffs too? Now, Coach Prime mentioned crime when he addressed the Colorado University players. And I don't believe this was a slight to Jackson State, but it's the truth. He was in Mississippi. It's not known for being a very nice place, especially where he was located in, okay? And was he supposed to fix Mississippi? Was he supposed to fix the city of Jackson State resides in? Was he supposed to somehow make NFL players out of this SWAC? I mean, he did very good recruiting, which was good. Okay, they have new practice facilities. They have new uniforms and all that kind of stuff, which is wonderful. And all this was not only because of Deion Sanders' name and his, the amount of fame that his name has, but also because he won. I mean, what more do you expect from a coach? But no, you want him to be the savior, the Superman, the black Superman of Mississippi, I guess. Huh? Foolish. It has been stunning to see so many people say Sanders should stay out of loyalty to HBCUs, while coaches aren't asked to decline advancement out of loyalty to white people. I'm sorry, let me read that again. White coaches aren't asked to decline advancement out of loyalty to white people. Okay? When a person of any other race excels in their profession, excels in their life, they are praised, they are celebrated. And you know what? What that should do? That should motivate everybody below you to get to his level. So that way we all win. And guess what? Maybe some coaches will stay in Jackson State. And then we can thank Coach Prime, we can thank Deion Sanders for bringing the notoriety to Jackson State. We can thank Deion Sanders for bringing a winning attitude to the team. And so another coach can take the baton and continue on with that. We should be able to thank Coach Prime. But instead, we're calling him a sellout for leaving. Hasn't he done enough? Don't you think? While the challenges in the black community, my community, are formidable, I don't expect Sanders to repair them. You know why? Because he's a football coach. No one is asking Nick Saban to create faster than light travel. You know why? Because he's a football coach. The only thing required of him is to win football games. Absolutely. And when Nick Saban leaves, you know what we're going to do? We're going to praise Nick Saban for bringing the amount of winning, the amount of publicity, everything he brought to Alabama. We will praise him for it. And we will hope that the next man behind him will pick up the baton of what he did and be able to continue on at least in some sort of, 50% or at least 80% of what he did. Nobody will be Nick Saban. Nobody will be Coach Prime. But hopefully we'll get somebody else in there that will be able to do just as good, if not better, than them. And really, to be honest with you, the people that should be saving, the people that should be, we should be looking to save the black community isn't a Deion Sanders. It isn't a Michael Jordan. It isn't a freaking LeBron James. It's none of those people. It should be the scholars in our community. It should be, the Congress people, the congressmen and the women, the representatives in the House, those people that are in positions that can actually change things, but they won't because you know what? They have constituents. They're just figureheads for the government. But those people that are in position that could actually make change, what can Coach Prime do besides make more money for Jackson State? Sanders took more money and moved to a better situation the way every football capitalist coach has ever in the history of the universe. Georgia coach Kirby Smart earns $10 million a year, and the buyout for his contract is a staggering $103 million. When Smart was an assistant at Valdosta State, that is in Georgia, no one ever expected him to stay forever. He moved up the coaching ladder and now has the net worth of a small country. Again, this was a stepping stone for Deion Sanders. It was never meant for him to stay permanently. He took a job. Mind you, Jackson State was taking L's too before he got there. He made it better. Somebody should be able to come behind him and continue the journey. Okay? Sanders' success at Jackson State and what could be even more success at Colorado. And earning huge paychecks along the way could open up doors for black coaches. Sanders could even lead to the hiring of more black coaches in the Power 5 conferences. See there? Now, you would want, now some of y'all normies out there want Coach Prime to stay in Jackson State and keep all his talents there and all his publicity and his pedigree and his fame and all that. But moving up the ladder, he's actually able to reach down and pick other people up. Because how many black coaches do you know there are in some of these higher conferences? Of course, you have black coaches in the SWAC because they're all in the South, most of them. But he's able, if he does good at Colorado, it could possibly open up more doors for other black coaches in higher levels of college football, not just coordinators and stuff like that, actual head coaches. But you want him to stay in the SWAC. You want him to stay there and just wither away and all his talents just stay there. And he never goes anywhere and it just, the talent just stays stagnant. Right? Again, this is another thing that black people do when they get to higher levels of power. What they want to do is pull you up to help get to where they are. But you call them a sellout, you call them the C word and everything else. You know what? He says, forget y'all. I'm going to keep moving up. Y'all can meet me up there. Get it how you live. That's what happens. When you criticize the man for being successful, he doesn't want to pull you up. And he says, you know what? If I'm going to be a sellout, I'm going to be a sellout. That's what happens. And it's your fault. If you're criticizing Coach Prime, you are leading to the fall of the black community because the people that make it up, they don't want to help us at the bottom because you criticize them instead of congratulating them. And then they will be more motivated to help the next man, the next black man. In many ways, Sanders did exactly what he was supposed to do at Jackson State, and then some. He was actually one of the more remarkable runs on and off the field in recent SWAC history. The attention he brought to the school was staggering. It was profiled by 60 Minutes, Good Morning America, ESPN's College Game Day to set up shop there. All these people came because of Coach Prime. Again, not because he was Deion Sanders, but also he was winning. He was winning. That's the most important part. And because of that, he was able to do things that other people weren't able to do because obviously they weren't winning. They didn't have his name. He helped more than he hurt. Absolutely. To say Sanders changed the culture is a dramatic understatement. There were so There were new practice facilities and endorsement deals. And at every step, he promoted the HBCUs and the SWAC, because he always said, when he's in these news conferences, he will always say, I am SWAC, because he put it on his back because of the winning he was doing, because of the name. He put it on his back. So, you know what? I'm going to bring a different culture to the SWAC, to the HBCUs, to where the HBCU sports, the SWAC sports programs are respected. He did that successfully. He is one of the greatest ambassadors for both we've ever seen, the HBCU and the SWAC. More than anything, Sanders left Jackson State better off than before he arrived. Way better. And he is one of the greatest goals. That is one of the greatest goals of a head coach. You understand? Coach Prime is not a sellout. Coach Prime is actually an example, should be, to all of us. Right? That you be successful, and then if you're not criticized, then you're able to bring the next man behind you. You're able to clear a path, right, for the other people to walk through. You're not selling out. You're actually creating a lane, a new lane for others to walk through, to come behind you and emulate and be successful just like you. Take the tools that you left behind and pick them up and do the same thing that he did. But you won't do that, will you? You're going to criticize him and call him a sellout. And you know what he's going to do? That lane that's behind him, he's going to fill that trench back with dirt. And you're going to have to figure out how to get it on your own. So I'm so passionate about this, everyone. But the criticism of Coach Prime is unnecessary at best. At the worst, it's egregious and foolish, in my opinion. That's just me. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comment section. I'm done talking about it. Thank you for attending another episode of Normieville. I'm just a normie trying to bring you the news in sports, entertainment, and politics. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button if you're new here again, and the notification bell on your way out. And I'll see you on the next video.